Hey, welcome to Crazy Days. Today we're in the kitchen and we're part of the October Pie collaboration started by Tammy over at Little Jordan Farm. Also participating is Miss Vicki at Vicky's Country Home and Lori and Mr. Brown at Whippoorwill Hollow. It's a mouthful. Okay, today we're going to be making persimmon pudding pie. Guys, these persimmons been in my freezer for a couple of years or better, and I need to clean out the freezer. When I was asked to be a part of this collaboration, I decided, hey, why not? We're going to do a persimmon pudding pie and clean out another couple of things out of my freezer. All right, a persimmon pudding pie is kind of a combination of a pie and a pudding. And it is really, really good. I've made them for several years now. When I found this recipe, I've done persimmon bread, I've done persimmon pie, I've done, I think, even persimmon cookies. So, persimmon can be used in a lot of different ways, but this recipe was pretty awesome. So the first thing says to preheat the oven at 325. And then, usually I do it in a pan about this size. This is the pan I've been doing it in because I just like this pan. But you need a deep enough pan and it needs to lay out so that it's not too thick. You want it, you know, an inch, inch and a half into the pan. That's it. This pan is from Wilton and it's called an Indulgence bakeware. It's the tart quiche pan. And this one, the reason I like using it, it's because of this design. Isn't that gorgeous? This will be on the top when you dump it out if everything works correctly. Now, what you have to do, because this has all these little grooves, is it really is a pain in the butt. But the first thing you do after preheating your oven is you butter your pan. So you need melted butter. I have some of my home canned butter. It hasn't been opened. It's at room temperature. So what I do, I take and open this, and I put it in every little groove. I'm telling you, every little groove. Okay, I could spray this pan with Pam, and it probably would dump out a whole lot better, but it calls for butter. So we're going to do the butter thing, and I'm going to sit here and go in all these grooves, and I'm not going to show you that because it takes time. But that is the first step to have your pan ready. So if you have just a flat pan and it's easy, you just butter it up. Okay, so I'm going to read the next little part so I don't have to try and quote it. All right, you're going to need 2 cups of your persimmon. My pulp still has hunks and pieces in it. So I'm going to go ahead and put it through my little processor and puree it down a little more, and I want 2 cups of that. Then we're going to add it to this and add 2 cups of sugar. Then we're going to take 3 slightly beaten eggs and slowly add it to that mixture. Then I have 1.25 cups of buttermilk. Now, my buttermilk is not real buttermilk, I'm sorry. I don't have it right now, so I took almond milk because this is going to be a recipe Danny can use because it is gluten-free and the almond milk is in it. I took 1.25 cups of almond milk and a tablespoon of lemon juice and put it in, and it's been sitting to the side for a little while. So that kind of makes your buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, you can improvise, okay? After that, I'm going to be adding the buttermilk and 1 teaspoon of baking soda to this. Now, a lot of your older recipes call for this baking soda on purpose because a lot of your fruits need that extra soda to make it work. In a different bowl, I have a gluten-free flour, and I've added my salt and my baking powder to it. So about 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking powder to that gluten-free flour in order to have it ready to add to this mixture. So I'm going to gradually add in the flour. And when I get it all mixed in, then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla and mix it in really well. So when I get that mixed up, we're going to pour it into this pan that I've already got buttered, and we're going to put it into a hot 325 oven for 1 hour. And what it's going to come out like, if it does what it's supposed to, now I'm not going to guarantee every time I make this it turns out perfect. It doesn't. But sometimes it turns out just absolutely perfect. It's raining right now, so we'll see. It turns into a pudding. If you've ever had a baked pudding, any type of old-fashioned pudding that you've baked, that's what we're doing. We're making an old-fashioned baked pudding, but with the flour, it turns into kind of like a pie. And the bottom crust that we've got here, the flour kind of makes a crust-like, and it turns loose of this, and it dumps out. That's what I'm saying. We're going to see. So let's get started. Let's mix all this stuff together and get it in the oven. Okay, I've taken my persimmon pudding pies out, and it looks kind of like a cake. The inside's going to be kind of puddingy, and it's going to have a little bit of a pudding pie cake taste. It's a combination, guys. We're going to let them cool a little bit. Instead of running this one and filling it slam full, I decided to put it in two different ones. This one is going to be the one that we're going to test in a few minutes. This one, I'm going to let it cool. We're going to flip it, see if it turns out okay. And we're going to put some icing on it. I found that a little bit of melted butter with some powdered sugar in it and a touch of lemon, my essential oils lemon in it, gives it a wonderful taste, and it tastes great on top of it. Alright, here goes. We're just going to see. Does it flip like it's supposed to? Voila! Came out just like it's supposed to. Okay, we're going to drizzle our icing over this while it's still a touch warm. Isn't that gorgeous? All the fruits on the bottom and the pie pan indentions on it. Awesome. Our persimmon pudding pie turned out awesome. I put this around. I should have put a little more milk and just glazed it, but it turned out great. You can see around the edges how it turned out. It looks awesome. Gonna make a great dish. This one is for sampling, and guys, the inside is almost like a pudding in a way, but yet it's a cake, and it makes its own crust. And guys, this is pretty awesome. And the icing I put a few drops. I probably put 7 drops of lemon essential oils in it because I like lemon. The texture is similar to a chest bar, if you've ever eaten those. It's kind of, I don't know, it's just hard to describe it. If you've ever eaten a chest bar, if you know what I'm talking about, that's the type texture it is. Kind of like a chewy brownie, I guess. Perfect. So we want to thank Tammy from Little Jordan Farm, Vicki from Vicki's Country Home, and Lori and Mr. Brown from Whippoorwill Hollow for inviting us to be a part of this collaboration, the October Pie collaboration. So Lori asked would I tag a few people? For November, let's tag Gemini Homestead. So Miss Lippy, make a pie. Let's tag Homestead Oss. Lynn, what kind of pies you got in Australia? I'd love to see. And let's tag our good friends Scratch Made Homestead, Danny and Leslie over in Alabama. They have Tanner's pecans. Tanner's makes some awesome pies. So I do believe Leslie could show us some pies in abundance that make some great pies, guys. So that's the 3 people I'd like to tag, and thank you for inviting me to be a part of this collaboration. Thank you guys for watching from Crazy Days.